Thank you, everyone, for being here. Above and beyond trying to breathe right, I really hope that this practice is a time for you to just show up and slow down and be with your breath and practice generous listening. I know that it can get a little actually anxiety inducing when we start learning about the intricacies of the breath and how to breathe optimally. And at any point, if you find that you've gotten too much in your head, you're overthinking it and even experiencing like forgetting how to breathe or just feeling kind of anxious, that's a great time to let go of whatever you're trying to practice, open up your senses, and reconnect with the space that you're in. And then we start again. And that's truly what the practice is about anyways throughout your day, is noticing when we're a little bit more in that activated state, needing to get grounded. We use our senses, we come back to our breath over and over and over again. So this is an opportunity for you to do that as well. Let's officially begin. I will again just invite you to settle into a position that feels comfortable and sustainable. And this is the first step of any breath reset, is get comfortable, get grounded. Whether that's seated in a chair, feeling your feet on the ground, really leaning into the chair, or laying fully on the ground, bringing in pillows or blankets. If you prefer to do this practice seated on the ground, as I often do, I highly suggest you set yourself up so that you can lean against the wall with a pillow. When we are paying attention to our breath and specifically trying to reset, it can be really helpful to not have any sense that we need to hold ourselves up. So I invite you to play with that. There's no right or wrong. Just notice what it's like in these different positions. So once you've gotten comfortable, and you can continue to get comfortable throughout our time together, we move into our next step. And for today, it is mental focus follows visual focus. So using our open eyes, let's begin to move your eyes around the space that you're in. In the beginning, not worrying about where your eyes are landing or how quick your eyes are moving, yet simply with the intention of noticing detail. So rather than just glazing your eyes over, perhaps something you've seen countless times, really take it in. Notice shape, color, shadow, depth. After your eyes have landed on one object or space for a few moments, let your eyes move and notice more detail. And eventually, when it feels all right for you, notice what it's like to begin to move your eyes and perhaps your head and neck from side to side, still noticing detail, and begin to align your breath with the movement of your eyes. Just doing that a couple more times. Really looking, seeing where your eyes are landing. And within your next couple of breaths, bring your head, neck, and eyes back into what feels like a neutral position. And then turn your gaze down towards the earth, towards the floor. And if you're in a chair, you don't need to reach all the way down to the ground, but if your hands are accessible to the ground, place your hands on the ground. If you're laying on your back, you can place your hands on your thighs or pelvis or belly or on the ground beside you. And it might feel okay at this point to close your eyes. And the same way mental focus follows visual focus externally, it does so internally with visualization. So I invite you, as you feel the connection to the earth, to visualize roots growing down from your hands or tailbone or feet, growing down into the earth. These roots that are spongy, porous, separate, yet also a part of the earth, both. And notice what it's like to begin to breathe in the qualities of the earth that you want more of in this moment, and to let go into gravity as you exhale. Doing that a few times. Slow, mindful breath. And just as the earth invites us to naturally begin to recycle, allow your exhale to be a recycling of what you no longer need. And without thinking about what that is, just allow it to be a felt sense of letting go. Allowing that energy to be composted, recycled, and reused. Just continue breathing and using your imagination to foster that intimate, reciprocal relationship. Continuing to do so as I read this land acknowledgement from Calgary, Alberta. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, the Iyaksi Nakota Nations, the Métis Nation Region 3, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. And now with your next few exhales, allow that to be an offering of gratitude to the land that you are on. Continuing to breathe in the sustenance of the earth and exhaling gratitude and appreciation for all those who came before you that curated this land. And now take a moment to feel into your posture and perhaps shift into a position that feels more sustainable. As the next step in our practice is to ensure that our spinal posture and oral posture are attended to. Whatever position you're in, take a moment to assess the balance on the left and right side of your body with the center line of your spine. Feeling length and support so that your body can rest on the structure of your spine. And oral posture is the top and bottom row of teeth in gentle contact, and your tongue spread gently across the upper palate of your mouth, not touching the back of your teeth and not fully held back behind the ridge that leads to the upper palate. If this is new for you, this is going to be a big part of your practice, is retraining your jaw to feel relaxed in this position. So if it feels straining for you, it's an opportunity to titrate this, where you move your mouth into that position for a few moments and then let it go. Similar to the spinal alignment, once we bring our teeth together and tongue at the roof of our mouth, we want to feel our jaw relax around the structure and alignment that creates. And now we're going to play with the movement of our diaphragms. So if your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes once again. And this is a little experiment we're going to play with. Okay? Your respiratory diaphragm, you can follow along with me, weave your hands together. Your respiratory diaphragm is a skeletal muscle that attaches to the lower ribs and psoas and connects to the bottom of your lungs and heart. So it sits in a neutral position, kind of like this. So as you inhale, your diaphragm flattens and expands like a platter. And as you exhale and relax, your diaphragm glides back up into its neutral position, which is like an umbrella shape. So for a few breaths, using your hands and your visualization, track the movement of your respiratory diaphragm. Now, technically, every breath you take is a diaphragmatic breath because you are breathing into your lungs, and that's going to move your diaphragm at least a little bit. But what we want to do in our breath reset is really get that slow, deep breath moving. And visualizing the movement of the diaphragm can be really helpful in doing so. So just a few more times like that. Your belly, ribs, chest, slightly inflate, and the exhale. As you continue to do this, another piece to keep in mind is that we want our breath to be felt in our belly and low back, in our ribs laterally in all directions, and in the front, sides, and back of our heart. And the proportions of that at rest are 70% in the low belly, low back, 20% in the lateral expansion of the ribs, and that final 10% is around the heart. So when we're at rest and breathing slow, we're not going to feel as much movement. It's not going to be as a high volume of a breath as it would be if we needed to mobilize our system, if we're running or using more energy. So our practice for now is breathing slow, low, and light. So we also want to feel the movement of our pelvic diaphragm. So now bring one hand down at the level of your pelvis. And as you inhale, both diaphragms glide down and expand. And as you exhale, both diaphragms glide back up into a neutral position. So as you feel the connection of your hands moving with your breath, notice what it's like to feel that movement in your body. Feel the diaphragms moving. Just a couple more. And now when you feel ready, release your hands from that movement and place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. If that feels all right for you. You could also hover them or place your hands anywhere else on your body or by your side. But if it feels all right to have your hands on heart and belly, allow this now to be an opportunity to practice feeling the inhale First in your belly and low back, and then your ribs, front, sides, and back, and then your heart, front, sides, and back. And every exhale, full letting go. I'm going to take the next 2 minutes for you to simply practice paying attention to your breath. Full attention as you inhale. Full attention as you exhale. Noticing your oral posture, playing with that. And as you tune into the rhythm of your breath as it moves in and out, notice what it's like to slow it down by 0.5 of a second. And that might include really mild sensations of air hunger, and that's okay. As long as it feels sustainable and comfortable enough that it's not escalating into an activation of your nervous system. But a little bit of air hunger is really good for downregulating and eventually retraining our breath. It's just 1 more minute. Feel your breath. Feel the rhythm and how it changes slightly, breath after breath. So you can stay exactly where you are. If you feel done with tuning into your breath, you're welcome to move into a different position or step out of the practice entirely. Well done. As a simple recap, I'm challenging you to begin or recommit to a daily breath reset practice. It could be 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you feel you have the capacity for at this point in time. And the steps to begin are to do something to help ground you. Feel your feet, use your senses. What do you hear? What do you taste? What do you smell? Use your senses to ground yourself. Tune into your oral and spine posture as you settle into a comfortable position. It can be great to use your eyes specifically every time. Mental focus follows visual focus. It'll help you move into a concentrated state more efficiently. And then we want to feel the movement of our diaphragms. Perhaps with your hands on your body or using the movement of your hands to help you connect with the movement. And after a few moments, practice slowing your breath by 0.5 of a second. And that's where we begin. That's it. Good night, everyone.